in its language. Maybe I'll write a thesis on that. But I believe I deeply, deeply feel that shit. Like, seriously. So, despite the criticisms, Fanon works remains influential in understanding the complexities of race and decolonization. He challenged the prevailing notion of the time, arguing that colonialism dehumanizes both the colonizer and the colonized. That is a fucking fact. That is a fact. So he says, imperialism leaves behind germs of rot, which we must clinically detect and remove from our land, but from our mind as well. This highlights his belief in the necessity of mental liberation alongside with physical liberation. This is true. We seeing that shit right now. We are no longer physically in chains, but our minds are still in those chains. Fanon's writing on race, violence, and liberation have had a lasting impact on various fields, including psychology, political science, and post-colonial studies. His work continues to be a source of inspiration and debate, offering a profound critique of the racial and political dynamics of his time that still, of course, resonates today. Now, his insight into the human psyche, colonialism, and race relations placed him in the same league as many revered white philosophers. Yet, the recognition and reverence he receives is overshadowed by his race. Thinkers like Foucault, Hegel are staples in philosophical education, right? Widely celebrated for their contributions to understanding society and the human conditions. But look at this. Black philosophers like Fanon, who tackled equally complex and vital aspects of society, often don't receive the same level of acknowledgement in mainstream education. Think about the arts. Think about when you think of studying philosophy. Think about just when studying literature and philosophy. They bring up names and authors and poets, but you see how you instantly those people come to mind. These are white people. These are white philosophers. These are white. They call them the classics. Greek philosophy. All of that shit. You see white Greek philosophers, right? This is the same thing that they did to somebody like Fanon. His work continues to be a source of inspiration and debate. His work delved into the intricacies of identity, oppression, and liberation, offering perspectives that were deeply relevant. His analysis of colonialism and psychological effects was profound, as any exploration by his white contemporaries. The disparity in recognition raises important questions about the biases in how we value and teach philosophy, highlighting the need to broaden our understanding and appreciation of thinkers from diverse black backgrounds. His work, controversial yet influential, has inspired movements and debates on post-colonial theory. Now, I would even say I can't say that he developed post-colonial theory, but I can't see a white person developing post-colonial theory. You are the colonizer. Okay, whatever. Now, since I mentioned black skin, white mask, here's a quick overview of it. It's, of course, by Fanon. It was written in 1952. Okay, so that is, about 10, 15 years before the civil rights era. It talks about how black people in countries controlled by white people often feel like they have to act differently or hide their true selves. Have you had that feeling before? That, to me, just that line right there is just code switching. Like, to me, that's instantly code switching. He also wrote in this is, of course, the same book, Black Skin, White Mask. He talked about how black people try to fit into society that often treats them unfairly because of the race. He explained that this can make them feel confused or even hurt about their identity. That's internalized hatred. In what I often call internalized anti-blackness, because black people can be anti-black too. It's not above us. We're actually taught to be anti-black. Some stuff that you do right now, you probably wouldn't even assume that it's anti-black, but because it's so internalized, it actually is, anti-black. Here's one. I'll give you a quick example before we end this. You know how black people, I think, I'm going to say 99% of black people got rhythm and they can dance. Right. Or they can move in a rhythmic way. Okay. But have you ever saw a white person dance like a black person and you believe that somehow this dancing that he's doing is just out of this world, immaculate? We often say it because we look at it like, oh, look at that white boy get down. That's anti-black. Yep, it's anti-black. If you look at somebody like Eminem as a lyrical genius, that's anti-black. The way in which that's anti-blackness. The way in which you may fantasize or even just have you may not, I won't say you fantasize about them. You may look at somebody like a Kim Kardashian and be like, oh, she bad. Yeah, she fine. She bad. That's anti-black. Because there's somebody black that has done that and that is doing that, but you fail to recognize them, but you make it a point to point out the white person that does the exact same thing. And you put that white person up on a pedestal as if they're somehow, an anomaly or somehow good or better than the regular, average black person who do that type of shit every day. That's anti-black. Not because of, it's not you not trying to be. Some of us are trying to be. Not us. Some of them, black people, are trying to be anti-black. But society has conditioned you into thinking that way about black people, about blackness, about yourself. It's internalized anti-blackness, and we do it and we don't even know. We don't even think about it because we've been colonized so much to the point that our minds, we really have to decolonize our minds in order to get back into ourselves and centering ourselves and seeing ourselves as equal beings, and just completely getting rid of the whole idea of a hierarchy in race. But that's just stuff that those are regular everyday things that we do that's anti-black. We, ignore, dismiss, or don't even realize it, that what we're doing in saying that, even thinking that way, we're being anti-black. Now, when a white person do it, we can point it out. It's like, you're only saying that because you white. But we dismiss it when we do it because we just assume that, we are prideful and we put ourselves and our race above everything and ourselves. Like, we think automatically we wouldn't do that to ourselves. But yeah, we would. We've been taught to do it to ourselves. And so it's almost, it's second nature. It's not, it's something that, we have to deal with. We have to fix it. But the first step to us fixing that and dealing with it is, for one, we need to recognize that that's exactly what we're doing. When you see a white girl with braids and you think her hair look good, and there's a black girl who probably work with you that wear braids every day, you didn't even notice. You didn't pay no attention to it. Why does it look better on her? Why does a big ass look better on Kim Kardashian? Because Kim Kardashian just went and just did everything that is basic every day for a black woman. She just went and put it on her. And now everybody's saying that she's a fucking billionaire because of it. I don't even know if that's black people that's buying her shit or why she has a huge market share. I hope it's not black people, but I'm pretty sure there's some black people in that mix. But she is a fucking billionaire just for copying a black woman. Everything she does, it's all been done before, all been done by a black woman. But it looks better on her. And so that's my whole little thing. And I do plan to have a whole episode about internalized anti-blackness. I actually wrote an article on Medium that's also on my website, educatetofreeus.org, or politicaleducationforfreedom.org. And it talks about all of the different ways we internalize anti-blackness and how it's a part of our everyday lives and we don't recognize it. We've done it for so long to the point that we don't recognize it. And so going back to Frantz Fanon and white skin black mask, black people try to fit into society that treats them unfairly, and that he talks about how mentally it makes black people feel confused and hurt about their identity. And so that's how we eventually, internalize anti-blackness. He also talks about how the history of slavery and colonialism has long-lasting effects on people. So, and it was his belief that both And this is